What's up, YouTube? Welcome to Viking Preparedness. I am PJ. You're preppers, right? Or you're prepper interested. You want to be prepared for whatever you see coming down the pike, or maybe for things that you know you don't see but could possibly happen. Good on you. Skill set, tool set, mindset. I have an activity that I would like to encourage you all. Whether you're single, you're just a couple, or you have 6 kids, doesn't matter. I would like to encourage you all to start doing camping. You need not spend a lot of money. And as a matter of fact, the kind of camping I'm thinking about, you won't need a lot of money and you shouldn't spend a lot of money. If you can get comfortable going out for a weekend, start going out overnight, just one night. Although it's kind of a pain in the neck to pack up the car, drive somewhere, set up camp, and then tear it all down in the morning and come back. You might as well stay 2 nights. But if you can get comfortable doing that, then you'll be able to handle a vast array of different emergencies, either in your house or if you're bugging out or whatever. And camping in the United States is probably a billion-dollar industry. Depending how you count it, it's probably a multi-billion-dollar industry if you count like motorhomes and stuff at the one end. And then bushcrafting, which shouldn't require any money, but that's a billion-dollar industry somewhere in there. But basically what I'm talking about is taking your family or yourself out anywhere. Go to a campground, go to a state forest or a national forest. If you have to, go in your backyard and practice this stuff. It's not as good in your backyard because you'll be tempted to go inside a lot and, just replug back into society. So it's easier if you get away. Pack up the car, go camping, have a good weekend. I talk about it a lot in my book, Papow, Survivalist Family, Prepared Americans for a Strong America, by me, available at refugemedical.com and fine bookstores everywhere. But I have a chapter on taking your kids camping and how to make it fun, kids and camping. How to make it fun, how to keep it safe, that kind of thing for your kids. Man, you can learn so much camping. Let's just go over it. Planning, your logistics, like what are we going to pack? What are we going to take? You do that ahead of time. What kind of food are we going to take with us? So you need portable, to a degree, food. Loading the vehicle with the stuff you need, driving to the site, so that's route planning. You get to the site and then you set up camp. If you do it right, everyone's got a job and you're all working together to get the camp set up. You'll get better as you do it more. If you go camping 5 or 6 times between now and onset of winter, you will be so much better at this than you are today, unless you're a regular camper already. You'll learn how to make yourself comfortable sleeping on the ground. I recommend you don't bring all the expensive gewgaws. Don't bring cots. Don't bring, don't bring a camper or a RV or something like that. I'm talking about tent, tarp, laying on the ground and sleeping, cooking over a fire. You'll learn how to build a fire. You'll learn how to cook over a fire. You can do activities if you have kids, or even if you don't have kids, if you're just adults during the day, that, hiking and nature observation and things like that. And then you'll learn some about security. You'll be a little bit concerned about security while you're out there, so you'll develop some techniques. And then you come home and you unpack and you re-clean everything and you put it all back together so you're ready to go again. You'll learn so much. And instead of just sitting there and consuming content on a video going, yep, I encourage you to get out there and do it. I don't care if you're 70 years old. I don't care if you have an infant. You should go camping. In California, I lived in California a couple times, but one time when we lived there, we lived in these like townhouses, Navy housing townhouses. And a family 2 doors down said to us one weekend, "Hey, y'all want to go camping next weekend?" And I think my kids at the time, I had 2 kids at the time. My son was in kindergarten, and so his sister was probably 3. And we're like, "Yeah, where do you want to go?" And they said, "Oh, there's this campsite, blah, blah, blah." And so we're loading up our car. We're all getting ready to go on Friday after work. And so we're loading up our car, and I can see them loading. And all they did, the husband and the wife walked out of their house with a big kind of like tote bin with handles on the ends of it. It's bigger than a Foot Locker. Walked out, threw that in the back of their car, brought out like 4 bags of groceries, brought out sleeping bags, 4 sleeping bags, threw them in the car and said, "We're ready. You need help packing?" I was like, oh. We ended up taking their technique. And so we had what we called our camp box. And we had a 33 quart cooler. Might have been a 33 gallon. It was a cooler about this big, the kind you take on boats when you're fishing. And we packed all the stuff we needed for camping in there. And then we added an additional tote bin for the kitchen, grates and pans and things like that. And we could pack, and other than the sleeping bags and food, that was everything we needed. So we didn't have to think about it. And we could go camping at the drop of a hat. We could also have bugged out at the drop of a hat with that gear. And then we would go camping a lot. And I'll tell you a quick story. Do we have time? Yeah. So we went to this one area. I don't remember where it was. Somewhere in the greater Monterey, California area. There was like a mountain. And there was a road going around the mountain. And then off of this road on the left, up the mountain, were these different campsites. The Bud Jean campground and the Joe Fox campground and the, whatever campground. And as we go, we're looking at them because it's kind of deserty there, really. So you can see far scrub trees. And it would be like, ooh, that one looks really full. Let's keep going. And then we'd see the next one. And it would look really full because we got a late start on this Friday. And we got to another one, and it was the Orv campsite, and there weren't that many people there. We're like, all right, let's go in there. So we go in. Nobody's there. We pick some campsites. We set up. We start popping up tents. We get a little fire going. We're getting dinner ready. And as it got later, people started showing up, and we had people in the next campsite to us. And they put on this boombox and just cranked like heavy metal. Wah, wah, wah. And I was thinking, why the hell are you guys camping? Why did you leave home to come out here and make all this damn noise? And then they had like a little 4-wheeler. Their kids were on the 4-wheeler and they were driving around, and I'm like, okay, whatever. But it was kind of loud, and I was kind of looking forward to hearing the California quail, Well, then in the morning, that night, there was a lot of noise in the area, and a lot of people were driving dirt bikes and stuff. And then the next morning, there's just people tearing it up. There's, 4-wheelers and dirt bikes, and they didn't have side-by-sides then, I don't think. And they're just driving everywhere, making all this noise. I'm like, God, this sucks. And then I learned what the Orv campsite was. It was the off-road vehicle campsite. So, of course, they played loud music and didn't care. They were there to make noise and tear things up. So after that, we didn't stay at that campground anymore. But I would encourage you to get out there and be comfortable camping. Be comfortable building and cooking over fire. Be comfortable being out in the rain. How do you make yourself comfortable? How do you sleep well in the rain? It's a learning curve. And you will experience a little bit of misery if you're not good at it, but you'll learn from it. And that will make you so much more secure in your skill set when things go sideways. And so please look into camping. That's my number one thing. Go camping. Figure out where you're going to go. Go camping. Take the whole family. Go for a weekend. Number 2, please don't bring electronic gadgets. Don't bring them. You don't need it. When you go, I know you're going to take your cell phone. You're going to navigate there on your cell phone or whatever. When you get there, take your cell phones, put them in a bag, throw them in the glove box, and lock it up. You don't need them. You don't need them. Trust me, you don't need them. Don't let your kids have them. I used to do a thing whenever we went camping. It's like usually we'd go on a Friday and come back on a Sunday sometime. As soon as I got there, I'd take my watch off because I'm a slave to this thing. I'm old school. I wear a watch. I'd take it off. It's like time doesn't matter that way for the next couple days. And it was liberating. I'm telling you, liberate yourself from your little Babylonian rectangle of death here. And you don't need to go out and buy a $4,000 tent. You don't need to buy the $80 air mattress. Guys, you just don't. And you can have a really good time. And so I encourage you to do it. I'm interested in your comments below. Those of you who've had good camping experiences, bad camping experiences, we can all learn from it. And yeah, if you start camping, maybe I'll see you out there.